Oops. Welcome to Liquid Lunch. Coming at you live. Monday, October 17th, 2011. It's me and Jeanette. Jeanette, we're having fun already.
Oh, we
aren't
were
you?
having fun.
Yeah. And then the show started, and then all
And
that
you said
stopped.
you open your mouth.
Right.
And I want to slug you.
Let's
but
do
no,
it live.
really.
That could go viral.
We're,
Right? We could get into a little fight. A
okay.
little cat fight.
Oh, yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, let's have our first online fight. Yeah. Our first fight on TV. Okay.
All right.
And then we can make up for the viewers. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
So
what?
we have a great show today lined up.
Let's not talk about that.
Okay, let's just talk.
Oh,
let's
I know
just
what I
shoot
was
the
gonna say
breeze for
to
a
you,
while.
because you have all your marketing stuff going on.
Oh, I do.
Right?
It's been busy, busy, busy.
But what I'm thinking is this, Jeanette. Instead of doing all this marketing stuff, why don't we just overthrow capitalism, and then
And what? And
do other
become
stuff?
like the old Russia?
No, they
'Cause
didn't
we
do a
know
very
that
good
doesn't
job.
work either.
They didn't do a very good job there. But don't forget, in classical Marxism, it's the industrial state that gets overthrown. Russia was barely industrialized at all. It was still mostly an agrarian economy. It did not fit the classical Marxist model.
Correct. But Marx's classic Marxism, which, by the way, I wrote a very big essay on this because when I did one of my undergraduate degrees in political science and economics, one of my courses was political theory, and I wrote a whole thing about Marxism versus capitalism.
Yeah.
You know, what Karl Marx envisioned when he wrote about communism really was more of socialism. It really was. It wasn't what communism turned out to be. That wasn't his prediction.
It was supposed to be a democracy. It was supposed to be democratic socialism.
Correct. It's actually very similar to what is practiced on kibbutzes in Israel. That's exactly what he had envisioned.
Okay.
It's more close to that.
Yeah.
And I would also argue that it's quite similar to what I would think the NDP stand for. Like, it's a socialism that benefits the people.
Well, that's what all socialism's supposed to do.
It is, right? But I don't know why, like, capitalism, you think of it as a dirty word.
Did I say that?
Well, you want to overthrow it.
Well, just because.
I think that the ideal state is when you combine capitalism with the giving back principles that the Liberals and the NDP support. When you combine it together, it's a win-win situation and everybody's happy. What do you think?
Well, I think that's what we've tried to do here in Canada.
And Canada's doing pretty good.
Try to
isn't
do
it?
that. Well, we're doing all right. We could be doing better.
Compared to other nations, we're doing
Well,
very
we're just getting it last. We're getting the everybody else is hitting it hard first. But we have to do something or it's going to hit here too. I think we have to change money. We have to reinvent money. This is what Karl Marx didn't understand. He didn't understand that money, he accepted as money as a given. He didn't say we need to reinvent money, redefine money.
Oh, so how would you redefine or reinvent it?
Well, one thing is get rid of interest. It's interest, compound interest, that's causing all these economic problems, all of them.
Oh, and I'm sure
all
the
of
bank's
them.
really going to support you on that.
Well,
one.
see the banks, but don't forget, in all the traditional religious, even in Judaism, I think it's forbidden to do usury, right? And in Islam, and it should be illegal.
Yes, but it also is written in all religions that 10% of your earnings should be given back. So
Right.
there is a built-in sort of
Yeah.
taxation.
Well, it's given back to who? Usually it's back to the church
Or the
back
community
to
or whatever,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, and that's a good idea. But 10%, not 40, 50, 60%.
Yeah, but it's dependent on your earnings, right? It should be assessed in proportion to your earnings.
That's not how it works, because now what's happening in Canada is that a lot of our tax dollars are going to pay compound interest on the money the government borrowed from
Yes,
private
that's
bankers
correct, that's
instead
correct.
of from, say, ourselves at no interest to build the country up.
Okay, so I have a suggestion for you.
Okay.
Why don't you run for office and make all these changes come to life? not good for, you can just talk about it. Talk is cheap.
You're right, Jeanette. That's a very good point.
I will vote for you.
You will?
Yes. You know what? I'll do one better. I'll be your campaign manager. How about that?
You're going to be my campaign manager?
Yes, because I'm so good at promoting you anyway. And why not, right?
Okay.
Seriously, why don't you run for office?
I've thought about that. Part of my difficulty with that is, and it's not an excuse, because I'm still working on strategy, Jeanette.
Oh, okay.
But part of it is that within the political framework, it's very difficult to make any kind of change. Because I also think we need to reinvent politics. I think we need to reinvent our systems of governance.
Oh, you're going to be so busy. You have so much you have to take on.
I know. That's why I do this show twice or once a day, 2 hours,
How do you propose to reinvent politics and get everyone on board with you with this? You better have some really interesting platform ideas.
Now you're asking me to give away all my secrets that I've been working on.
Not all. Just start. How about one? Tell us something.
Well, basically, let me just give you a hint. Okay.
Okay.
So
a hint is good.
All right. So it's our existing political system, the what do you call it? Representational democracy, right? It was invented for a horse and buggy era, right? When you had horse and buggy technology, every little community would pick one person to go and represent them at the capital, right? And that's what we do. But now our technological environment has evolved so much that formal political structure doesn't really serve us, because the real informal lines of power in this day and age are very different. They're on the internet, they're in big media,
So
and
are
that
you
sort of
suggesting that the House of Commons should be meeting on the internet, like via Skype?
Well, first of all, if we're talking about maintaining our representative democracy, one thing I would advocate as an intermediate step is that we elect people who really represent us. In other words, because I know you're from Belleville, right? I'm from Welland. We're both from smaller towns, right?
So I'm not going back to Belleville. Are you going back to Welland?
I was back in Welland on the weekend.
I'll go for the weekend, see the parents, but I ain't living there.
Yeah. All I'm saying is that, like for Welland or Belleville to elect somebody to represent Welland or Belleville.
Yeah, that's okay, because it's like only 40,000 people.
Well, yeah. All I'm saying is that let them represent the people of those communities. Instead, what happens is they're members of a party, they're backbenchers, or even if they're cabinet members, they're not really representing the people anymore. They're putting forward the agenda of the party, which has been influenced by big money lobbyists and people that fund the party. And then once they get the funding on condition of they're going to implement the policies of those funders want, not serving the people of the communities across the country.
And let's also address the very real fact that most people today who are running to be in politics as MPPs or local reps or whatever, what is their motive in doing it? Many of them are career jumping.
Yeah.
Like we see a lot of media people getting involved in taking on, like
Of
Peter
course.
Kent and that. He left Global. He's now a politician,
I know.
right? And he's not the only one.
Yeah, I even found out over the weekend Ralph Klein was a journalist, a
Right.
TV
a lot
journalist
of journalists
before he
are
went into
becoming
politics
Sarah
in Alberta.
Thompson was running. She owns Women's Post.
Exactly.
So a lot of media moguls are becoming politicians. I think also, having dated a few politicians, and I won't name
Who did
names.
you won't?
I will not name
It's
names.
a long list, I know.
I think the motivation isn't always about doing good or representing the people or really doing what's best for the people. It's about having a job that pays $100,000 or more.
Well, for sure there's people like that, but also I think that because the media is so, in a sense, scornful of politicians, it's like you can't win as a politician. Everybody's going to be on you. Everybody's going to criticize you. You're never going to satisfy everybody, and in the end, you may not satisfy anybody, and then you just get bitter, like Brian Mulroney, and then you take the money and.
Okay, I disagree with that. I think if you have a strong mandate that really is about the people and what the people want, and you really listen to their needs. maybe not everybody's going to love you, but let's face it, in the world, not everyone's going to love you. There's always going to be somebody who just doesn't take to you for whatever reason. And that's their problem, not yours.
No.
Let me finish. Hear me out. The main thing, though, is you are representing an elected body. And those are the people that you have to satisfy. And if you do satisfy them, they're going to become amazing followers of yours, and they'll sing your praises.
But who are you talking about? The people in your constituency?
Yes, and then, if you're going to go to the next level and the next level, the constituency just gets bigger and bigger. You got to have more people loving you.
Think about all the...
And
nobody's liked any of our...
comes from results.
Trudeau was the last prime minister anybody liked. And a lot of people hate him.
Why did people like him, though?
Because we were young and he was charismatic.
Okay, and I also think it has a little bit about what he did. So it's about results. To me, whether you're a politician or whether you're a business person, your client or your constituents, in this case, who would, let's say, liken to be a client, they only love you when you're doing things that benefit them. It all boils down to benefits.
But here's the problem,
results.
and this is why people still like Trudeau, because Trudeau was around in an age when he could actually spend money and do stuff for the country. Now, even if the NDP get in, federally, provincially, doesn't matter, there's no money. We can't raise taxes. So the government, in Trudeau's day, Trudeau could still have the resources to go out and do things like create Petro-Canada or all the stuff that he did. But now a government can't do that. There's no money. All they can do is privatize, sell off public assets, raise taxes, and cut services. So no politician can be popular in that circumstance. And that's because of the money system, and that's because all our tax dollars are going to pay the interest on the debt that the government didn't need to borrow from the private bankers. And more of our money is going down the drain of compound interest.
Okay, that is a structural problem, and we identified that, and I do not dispute it. But I still maintain that, and you raised the point earlier in the show where you said something like the private funding and the lobbyists, and they're getting money to push through objectives. The key is aligning yourself with the right lobbyists and the right, I guess, money bags who, the agenda and the initiatives will be aligned with yours and your constituents' needs. Then you'll be popular, and then you'll have the money to do it.
Well, why not, instead of taking big money from big corporations, why not just let all the people of the country be the only people that finance political endeavor, right?
Well, that might be okay in the end, but you've got an immediate problem that needs solving, and not everybody in the country is going to be able to have the income or the tax of the income in order to generate some kind of revenue or an account that holds these funds wherein we can give back to the people and do with it, use this money, these funds to further the country. We have to clean up the mess we have now first, right? Because it's still there. The debt is there. The lending has been done. It has to be paid back somehow, some way. And I guess, there's only so much taxing that they can do before they create a revolt, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and the revolt's already happening.
So what are you saying? It's time to go back to the French Revolution days?
Why? I think
Let's
the guillotine.
create a revolt and get rid of these
should
politicians.
stay where it is.
It's long buried. I think we have to. I mean, as intriguing and as wonderful as this conversation is, I think we really need to line up today's show and kind of get going with that.
Absolutely. Let's do
that. But I do encourage you to run for office, and you got to get the support and go for it.
Okay.
Maybe you can make a change. I believe that if you believe you can make a difference, you will make a difference.
Okay.
No matter what you take on, whether it's politics or, the local PTA or, whatever you're doing in your life, in your business. You have to believe that you can make a difference.
You don't think it's too late?
It's never too late. If you really want it, go for it.
Okay. All right, Jeanette, very encouraging. Shall we tell people what we've got on the show today?
We shall.
Okay, so coming up at 12:50, we're going to do the magnetic marketing moment just a couple minutes here. But
yes, and that's going to be on pink marketing, which is a hot topic now.
And I just want to know what these are.
Well, that's
Jeanette.
part of my promotional products for this segment.
Are these waterproof?
Yes, they are. Thanks for showing that. The whole thing about the segment is that pink is in, and why is pink in, and understanding pink marketing and what makes it popular, and understanding how to promote to women and how to incorporate this sort of marketing strategy into your own business practices to make more money. Because let's face it, pink marketing generates millions of dollars.
And they got magazines like this.
Well, that's an event.
Look.
It's not a magazine. It's an event called
Tits and Glitz.
Which-
Tits!
Tits and Glitz.
It sounds like
yeah.
a snack food.
Yes, it's an event to raise money for breast cancer. But pink marketing stems a lot farther deeper than supporting breast cancer. Of course, it has generated a lot of money for breast cancer through promotional
By the
items,
way,
but
I could
it.
say tits and glitz because it's with a Z.
That's
See?
right.
Tits
And,
with a Z.
and also, we're not governed by the CRTC, so we can say whatever we
Look,
want.
if they can get away with it, we can get away with it.
Yes. So, I mean, we're going to delve into all this in this segment. And I have a giveaway also today. One complimentary marketing assessment worth $350 when you purchase either a sapphire, emerald, ruby, or diamond level of my marketing and goddess intensive packages, which is like deep marketing coaching and consulting to improve your business on any marketing topic. So if you buy one package, you get that assessment free that has a retail value of $350. Next, we have Dr. Kavita Sharma coming in from Trinity Health Clinic. And Dr. Kavita Sharma and her staff are trained naturopathic doctors. And today we're going to talk about some very important and apropos medical situations. It's that time of year where many of us are contemplating the flu shot.
The
and
flu
if we
shot.
Should get it.
And I asked you if you were going to get it, and I was surprised that you said yes.
Yes, but I don't want to spoil her segment. There's a reason why I'm going to get it.
Because I think that
about
it's
it.
part of the global elite's depopulation agenda.
Okay, so some people are for it, some people are not. Dr. Sharma is going to dispel some myths about who should take it and who should not.
I don't want you to take it, Jeanette. I don't want you to get depopulated.
And and she's also going to talk to us about just naturopathic health care in general and some other really pertinent in the media health issues, such as the great vitamin debate and some other
awesome.
things. It's going to be awesome.
Okay.
Okay, then in celebration of Small Business Week, which is going on, it started yesterday, it goes till the 23rd of October, we are going to have David Cohen come and join us. Now, David Cohen is the host of Small Business Big Ideas, which was a radio show. Now it's a TV show that he does on Blogspot Radio. He conceived that show, and it's been long-standing and running for a long time. It used to be on CKDO on Sunday mornings. He is also he created the show for business learning and business coaching. And because it's Small Business Week, we have him here, and we're going to talk about why small business in Canada is thriving and what you can do too if you have a small business to really benefit from why small businesses are surviving. He's going to share his insights on that with us, and we'll talk about some of the best things that small business is doing and some of the things it needs to improve on.
Fantastic. And it's such a small world because I've sat down with David before. I know David a little bit, so looking forward to seeing him again today.
So have I.
Yeah.
I've been on guest previously on his show. And,
yeah, that's right.
We know each other for many years.
Yeah.
And I just want to also make mention of the fact that we have also two other amazing giveaways today. Dr. Sharma is offering a medical consultation at Trinity Health Clinic with any one of her practitioners, qualified practitioners, and that's worth $75. And David has a giveaway of two separate packages of a 1-hour business coaching session, and they are worth $125 each session. So we'll mention that again later in the show, and we'll provide the call-in numbers for you to win.
Yes, we will.
And
also send emails. We'll get people to send emails.
Yes, and
right?
you can
'Cause
send
it's
an
be
email
up online.
also to, what's the email here?
Contact us at ThatChannel.com.
And the call-in number is?
416-204-9723.
So we'll take a little break, and we hope you'll stay with us as we're going to be back talking about pink marketing with me, Jeanette Burke, your marketing magnet.
birds that fly at the break of daylight, to the whispering winds blow tune, the voices of life calling you. Can you see the light in the middle of dark, or the sun that shines in another man's heart? Do the distant skies tell you the truth? Are the voices of life calling you? Why do the stars keep shining in the sky? The earth moves around and I keep wondering why. Can you hear the sounds of the tide at night? Can you feel the warmth of a frozen sun, or the beating pulse of everyone? Do the distant skies tell you the truth? Are the voices of life calling you? Why do the stars keep shining in the sky? The earth moves around and I keep wondering why. Can you hear the sounds of the tide at night? Can you hear the sounds of the tide at night?
Are we back on the show?
Yes,
Welcome
we're
back.
back.
This is the magnetic marketing moment with your marketing magnet, Jeanette Burke. Jeanette, where do we
Hugh.
begin today? We're talking about pink marketing.
Yes.
What is pink marketing?
Pink marketing in its simplest form is marketing to women. But it's a little bit more than that. Pink marketing actually started in 1929 with a man named Edward L. I always say his name wrong, but it's Benjley, I think. Benji, that's how you say it. B-E-N-G-Y.
No, Bernays.
Bernays.
Edward Bernays.
Bernays.
You know, he was
Edward.
Sigmund Freud's nephew.
No, it's not Bernays.
What?
Okay, anyway, 1929 is when it started. Edward L. Bernays. Yes, you're right. who is often credited as the father of PR. Okay,
That's right.
and he actually, what he did was he took a tobacco ad and put a woman on it. And although he did this because a tobacco company paid him to reach women and get women smoking, the message behind it was that we have reached, and it's all about equality. And when that message came forth, that's really what pink marketing is about. It's about making women feel equal in the marketplace,
Right.
and giving rise to their influence and their power and their contributions to the society as a whole, and saying you're no longer behind the scenes as a contributor to the marketing effort. You're a recognized part of the process.
So basically, equal.
It's
Equality.
shedding
It's all
light
about
on
the equality.
equal rights, and recognizing women for who they are and what they give to society, not just in terms of their buying power, because their buying power is a lot more advanced than it ever was. Now 25% of women earn more than their partner, whether that's the husband, the boyfriend, whatever. It's more than that though, and it certainly is also about tapping into women's wants and needs and really catering to their wants and needs. And pink marketing is also a combination of niche marketing with cause marketing, both very effective forms of marketing tools. When you have a niche, we've talked about this endlessly, how important it is to have a niche in business, and how you have to really cater and focus in on that niche. Cause marketing is another powerful marketing tool because it rallies people to support a particular cause. In the case of pink marketing, we know that breast cancer has been fueled a lot by pink marketing, and here in front of me I have a number of pink marketing promotional tools, from bracelets to jewelry boxes to diva stickers to, as you mentioned, a tits and glitz event. Even like at the buck store, they sell these things.
What do you
for
do
the
with those
home.
gloves?
It's cleaning gloves.
The cleaning gloves.
Everywhere you look is pink marketing. We see the pink marketing symbol. We see businesses that are created to cater to women who have had mastectomies. We see a whole messaging around the whole pink concept. And we really see it in every product out there. I mean, really think about it. You go into almost every store and you will find items that are pink, whether that's curling irons, makeup brushes, motorcycles, pink Cadillacs, pink ribbons, pink umbrellas, pink iPods. Every company in the world is getting on board with pink marketing because they know that in order to reach women have major decision-making power in the home. And that actually is not really something that's all that new.
Right.
But it's at the forefront because women are making more money, and women are very loyal to brands and products that give them a sense of community and a sense of awareness for women's rights and women's causes and women's issues. And the whole thing about why pink marketing through breast cancer, I think, took off wasn't just that they created a really powerful brand and got all these promotional items around it. It's the fact that we started to realize that when our mothers and our daughters and our sisters and even like younger and younger start dropping off, we are losing a major contribution to society. We started to question the role of women in our society, and we started to give recognition to the fact that women make such a contribution to our homes, to our families, to the mere fact that when they're involved in our lives, whether it's from a work perspective or whether it's from the homemaking perspective, they make it easy for us to get out there and do things, right? The woman is the center of the home. And I think that when we think about losing women to a disease that is a woman's matter because only women have breasts, we give rise to the fact that women have this importance. So I think that that's really what pink marketing is, and it's also being very popularized.
Why is it so popular?
Well, in part for what I just said, I think also to go beyond that to say that I think women felt ignored by previous marketing that has basically been since 1940s on very aimed at men being the income earner, at men being the provider.
Yeah.
And that shift has changed now that more and more women are earning more money, and women are consciously also choosing to remain single and to celebrate their financial independence, and to invest and to take control of their lives and not be dependent on men. So I think that that's part of the popularity. Again, another reason for the popularity is that it provides a sense of community, and it says, look at us, we matter, and we have a community to support each other in. And we can wear symbols like breast cancer symbol, or we can go out and buy products that have pink marked on it, whether it's marked tattooed across our ass, the PINK line, or we go into Victoria's Secret and buy a special pink bra. It's saying this is for you, and you belong to this group, and you get to reward yourself for who you are and what you've achieved and accomplished, and it's something special. And I think the other popularity is that we've likened this feeling to shows that make us feel really good, that celebrate womanhood. And I'm talking specifically of the Sex and the City, which is a whole movement in itself and has a lot of women united in a common cause. And I'm talking about the characters there and the whole meaning of sisterhood, and the fact that today women are trying to be more collaborative than competitive, and saying to themselves, we do have a reason to unite, and let's find a reason to unite. So these items, these promotional items, pink marketing gives you a cause in which to rally together and have a commonality and say, let's celebrate ourselves.
Now, how is marketing to women different than marketing to men?
Marketing to women is very different than marketing to men, and this sort of begs the whole men are from Mars, women are from Venus philosophy at play. Essentially, men tend to buy in a very linear kind of way. They will look at it step one and step two, look at a product, maybe assess it a little bit. If it sort of fits their meaning of what life should be about, they're pretty convinced in a shorter term time frame to plunk down that credit card to make that purchase.
Yeah, I'll take 4 of those.
Exactly. As long as it fits their lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Women, it's a different thing. Women also will do their homework and their research, and they'll go through step 1 and 2. But before they decide whether or not they're going to allocate funds to it, they will look at what is the value of this product or service, and how is it going to benefit my world in a long-term kind of way. Mm-hmm. So by that, is it going to improve my family's life? Mm-hmm. Is it going to really cater to my needs and support what I want to be doing here? So they look at that when making their decision as to whether or not they want to make a purchase. They also women are very loyal to brands that promote community and that have a lot of personal touch and communication, whereas men don't care so much about that.
Yeah. The men are from Mars. They just want to get the job done and solve the problem.
Exactly. Women really want to be heard. They want to be heard and they want to be recognized. Any product or service that promotes that will stand to do far greater. And it's true, because listen, anything from the electronic worlds right down to the fashion world, we are embracing women. We want women. We know that women are the decision makers in making money. In fact, in 2003 alone, 2003 stats show that $55 billion jump in the electronic worlds with things like plasma TVs by marketing to women, not to men, and $96 billion in sales revenue in the electronic marketing industry alone since 2003.
How can guys get their women to support the purchase of a larger screen plasma television?
Okay, by making it more of a family type, like there's a benefit to the family. It's all about the benefit of the pink marketing. We'll get into that in a minute. I just want to also say though that the housing market has gone strictly dealing with women. Right here in Toronto, we have example of the Lerner Group who put up condos downtown and made, you know, the features of the condos with more closet space, more kitchen cabinet space, more space in the bathroom for makeup products to store, you know, and all these were tools to get women to buy because they know that women are buying, whether they're alone, like single women, or whether they're married women. Believe it or not, even Harley Davidson motorcycles are coming out in pink to get women involved in that, which is a traditionally male-oriented item for male recreational activities. So when you talk about how do you get the support of the women, how do you get men to support, you got to get the product out in value terms or beneficial terms, how women see it. So this is kind of the next point that I wanted to raise is when you're looking to incorporate pink marketing into your own marketing strategies, it's all about what is the benefit of pink marketing. And for women, the benefit is, number one, how is this going to make my life easier? How is it going to free up my time? How am I going to get something done quicker so that I can have more free time either for myself, downtime, which a lot of women lack, or with my family because they want more time with their family. So any kind of product or service that can give them that can tap into their emotional needs will definitely encourage them to want to have it. And then there's like a secondary sort of campaign, which is how is it benefiting the world at large? And that's really where the cause marketing comes into play. To support things like breast cancer because it affects women and it takes women out of our lives. Women want comfort, ease, convenience, and things that are faster, that give them a sense of safety, a sense of belonging, and a sense of, you know, you care about me and what I'm going through. And you recognize me for the person that I have become. I'm no longer just in the kitchen wearing, you know, an apron. I'm out there serving the world and I'm serving you as an equal. That's really, you know, if you really want to make a difference, particularly in luxury goods and designer goods, cookware, electronics, that's how you get women to be your customers. And that's why pink marketing is so huge.
And I think part of it too is now because, as you mentioned, a lot of women are choosing to be single. A lot of the products that you may have marketed exclusively to guys before, now there's a market of women that might need those same things.
Or want those same things, but getting them to buy those same things is going to necessitate a strategy that appeals to them based on the needs that I've been very clear about: ease, comfort, time, sense of community, sense of belonging, relaxation. Women will spend a heck of a lot of money for relaxation, way more than men. Women put a different value on products than men, but even like look at the car industry and how much it's changed. Women want to be dealt with on a level where, you know, the old marketing tactics don't work. Like, hi honey, it's pretty, come and buy it. Or, you know, it's all flowers and pastels, come and buy it. That's like real think pink marketing, but it's so much beyond that. It's not about, you know, I want something pretty in my life. There is, you know, women always do like luxury and appreciation, and they do like pretty things, but really it's about understanding me and my needs and what I'm going through.
And you mentioned that women, you know, they're thinking long term. Is this going to benefit in the long term? So it can't just look pretty. It's got to be functional. It's got to work. It's got to last. It's got to be good value for the money. Let me just ask you, because
sorry, one other thing that we should mention too is that Even the financial industry is now coming out with savings products that are part of a portfolio that are exclusively for women's savings, because women save different than men. It's their value system is different than men's. So go ahead.
Interesting. Well, I just wondered if there are there's all these positive things, but are there any disadvantages?
Yes, there
to
are
pink
disadvantages
marketing?
too. If you're going to incorporate pink marketing into your marketing strategies, and I really suggest that you do, and I said specifically it has to sell a certain benefit. I mean, a lot of companies now deal strictly with women. I myself have marketed my own business to become a champion for the female entrepreneur. And the whole concept behind that is I want women to live their dreams. I don't want their dreams on hold. I don't want them to have regrets and resentment in their life, particularly when they look back on their life or become sick in their life and say, I didn't do this because I didn't have the support or I didn't have the tools. My whole thing is about making sure women work smarter, not harder, not exhaust themselves, get the financial means they need to have a free autonomy, and to have that autonomy for them and their families, to work less and enjoy more and not spin their wheels. And that's sort of back to the benefits of it too. But where pink marketing goes wrong in the whole think pink thing, or the disadvantages to it, is when we go back to the traditional way of how men think women want to shop when they're depressed and they want to spend to make themselves feel better, or they want to eat because it makes themselves feel better. That is very old school and not at all what women are about. Women, as I said, want to be known for who they are, for what they represent, for where they have come in society and the accomplishments they make to society. They don't want to be just about, let's make us feel pretty or put a Band-Aid on us when we're not being our very best. So if we're not really capitalizing on that message, pink marketing isn't going to work for you. Another couple things too is that women don't want to be the poster child for disease. So when we decide to support a cause, we want to make sure that that cause is really benefiting us, and that it's not diminishing other relevant causes in the process. Now, this is one of the criticisms of breast cancer, is that breast cancer gets a lot of airplay, and the other cancers that affect women, such as ovarian, don't get that kind of airplay. And there's a push amongst women that every cancer that affects women should get equal airplay and equal awareness. Another thing is that pink marketing has also been criticized when products that are being promoted as pink actually contain ingredients that cause cancer.
That's horrible.
It is horrible, and then that this pink marketing isn't really about what pink marketing should be about, but more just about the money that's involved.
Right.
There's a lot of criticism around that too, that there are certain companies and institutions, including banking institutions, that are only getting involved with Support the Cure or Run for the Cure because of the money that it generates for them, and not because of the actual authenticity or likeness to actually being supportive of. So there has to be some kind of true element to it. The other thing in question is that a lot of pink marketing, a lot of sale of pink ribbons, a lot of sale of pink promotional products, the portion of the dollars that we are spending to promote pink, how much of it is actually getting put to use for coming up with the cure against cancer. There's a lot of controversy about this because there's been statistics and research done that shows that many of the products or even the events that you attend, it's a very minute proportion of the dollars being collected that are actually going for the research component, and more going for the packaging and the marketing. So that's another thing you got to be aware of, and just the appropriateness of the campaign, and knowing that what we want in pink is not just to be pretty in pink.
Right.
Or pink washing.
Pink washing. Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah. That's really it.
Okay. All right. Well, Jeanette, this is fabulous. If people want more information, of course, they can go to your website.
At www.yourmarketingmagnet.com. and I'll be more than happy to help you, whether you're a man or a woman. But I do cater to women, but that doesn't mean that we exclude men. We're trying to partner them up.
Only real men can handle pink.
Who can handle real women and who truly want to market their business. I'm here for you. I have different marketing packages for you to meet your needs. Contact me at 905-882-6893 or email me at Janette, JANETTE, at yourmarketingmagnet.com or www.yourmarketingmagnet.com. Again, it's about making your dreams come true and serving you well, and that's certainly what my message and my purpose is all about. Thanks so much for having me today. And in closing, I just want to say that if you would like more information on how pink marketing can really benefit you in your business and why it's important, I suggest you read one of the three. I brought 3 resources to give out today. Marketing to Women books. One of them is Marketing to Women, How to Increase Your Share of the World's Largest Market by Mari Barletter. I believe that's how you spell it. Say it rather, Barletten, Barletten. What She's Not Telling You, Why Women Hide the Whole Truth and What Marketers Can Do About It by Mary Lou Quinlow, Jen, I can't even read this, Jen and Tracy Chapman. So those are some good resources to look up for extra reading on the importance of pink marketing, and I believe that pink marketing is very important. Certainly, we see a resurgence, a rise of pink marketing. I mean, every product, from every industry is on it. They know about it. I support pink marketing, but I support it from its sincerity, and I hope you will too.
Okay, fabulous, Jeanette. Thanks for doing that. And let's take a little break now and come back with Dr. Kavita Sharma, a naturopath, right after this. Liquid Lunch, ThatChannel.com.
Was for them to succeed. Oh, we see the day. We've had a good life so far, such a shame it has to end. But our dreams will carry on with the love of our children. It's not too late to say I love you. I guess that you've known it's always been true. Oh, love is the way. 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 everyone. Day ends when it's lights, and nighttime never comes. Rack my brain for days and nights. I wished I know the answer. Just when I think I've got it right, all I hear is laughter. Stay awake all night, ahead of everyone. Day ends when it's light, and nighttime never comes. Guess I'm up above the crowd. That must be the answer. It's quiet here, no one around, and I can't hear the laughter. No. Stay awake all night, ahead of everyone. Day ends when it's light, and nighttime never comes. I wish I was a leader of the land. I'd make living easier for man. There'd be no more fighting and looting in the streets. I wish I was a leader of the land. I'd take over wrestle, shell, and golf, and I'd start selling gasoline myself for less than 20 cents a liter, and oil change is free. I wish I was a leader of the land. Yeah. would be gone. Then there'd be no threat of the bomb. No more pompous windbags to make us go to war. I wish I was the leader of
And we're back here on the show. We've got Dr. Kavita Sharma here. And the doctor is appropriate, right? You're a naturopathic doctor?
That's correct.
Kavita?
Yes.
Okay, good. So now, boy, we were talking about a lot of stuff before we came on. So much to get into here, but you mentioned a lot of people think that the natural approach to health doesn't have a doctor designation, but you're an actual doctor.
Well, it's mostly understanding the difference between natural therapist or a naturopath or a naturopathic doctor. The level of training that naturopathic doctors actually go through is similar to that of the medical doctors. So we do 4 years of medical school as well as 2 sets of board exams, licensing board exams. So a lot of when it comes to education and the public understanding the difference of who you're going to, this is where we hear a lot of comments, well, that doesn't work, they didn't know what they were talking about. But I'd challenge and invite people to ask questions. Ask, are you going to a natural therapist? Is that somebody who's taken a weekend course or a year course and puts up a certificate and says, I'm a natural healer or a naturopath, versus a doctor of naturopathic medicine who's actually, we are known as primary care practitioners, just as your medical doctor would be. And what that means is that people have the power of choice in Canada. And here we choose whether or not, I have some clients who I am their primary physician. Their medical doctors are collaborative on top of a team. Rather, I also have patients that see a medical doctor primarily.
Just curious, does that mean you have the same rights when it comes to going to the hospitals and visiting the patients and that sort of thing?
And that's the big difference with legislation in Canada. And that's what naturopathic doctors in our associations have been fighting for, is that we are under different regulations than medical doctors. So we are considered privatized system. Whereas medical doctors are covered under OHIP and have all the other services available to them that we all pay for.
Yeah.
But naturopathic medicine has to be a personal choice or a private system.
Now, are you guys lobbying to change that?
It's been ongoing,
Yeah.
yeah. And we are close to it being changed, but then of course public support always matters, and governmental.
Right, because it just seems to me, I mean, obviously there's problems with the healthcare system in
Yes.
terms of the funding and how much it costs, but, you know, one of the things that I understand about naturopathic medicine is that it can be cheaper, it can save money
In the long run.
because you're often not treating the symptom or treating the problem after it's arisen, but you're preventing those problems from happening.
Absolutely. Some of our basic principles and main philosophies are that we do look at prevention of disease, not just healthcare, but also prevention of disease, treating the whole person, individualized medicine, because we believe in long-term care instead of looking at this acute approach or this short-term approach to things.
Right.
So does that mean you're not like just band-aiding it, meaning that
Absolutely.
when you go see your regular doctor, you're sick with a particular problem, a cold, a flu, whatever, and they're just like write you a script and send you on your way. How do you approach it differently?
So it's a good question. There's a lot of differences actually. I'll give you an example. So if a patient comes in for a headache, the way it would look in a medical doctor's office is you would come in, you'd speak for a few minutes about your headache, and you'd get what's an anti-headache pill or a painkiller. So it's a symptomatic approach. Whereas if you sat with a naturopathic doctor, we would actually look at the root causes. You'd be sitting with us for at least an hour. We'd ask about your digestion, other stressors in life, emotional health, diet, exercise, lots of factors on a physical, mental, emotional, and what we call spiritual levels, the vitality of the person. And that would take about an hour before we put pieces of the puzzle together. So we don't see headache as a disease or a condition that you have to treat. We see it as part of symptoms and pieces of a puzzle that tell you that there's something deeper going on. So cause medicine, root cause medicine. And we treat from that basis.
Oh, before we get into like specifics like flu and other things, flu shot rather, I want to ask you, one of the criticisms that I've heard in naturopathic care, maybe this isn't so much for naturopathic doctors, you explain there's different levels with different training, is that we're asked to take a lot of vitamins, and that the vitamins and the supplements are really a large part of the remedy or the solution to the problem that the patient's facing. But there's been, in recent light, particularly in the media, some speculation about vitamins, if they're even worth taking. And there's the second speculation that certain vitamins, particularly the women's formula vitamins, are actually doing women more harm than good, and causing cancer. There's a study produced by the Mayo Clinic about this, particularly like the iron and I guess the
Copper.
metallic
Yep.
copper,
Yep.
that it's actually detrimental and can lead to women's cancers or death earlier than expected. Can you comment on that, and who should
Absolutely.
be taking vitamins, who shouldn't be taking vitamins, that sort of thing?
Absolutely. And this is where we advocate for collaborative care teams. So this is where I would say people always need a medical doctor, a naturopathic doctor, maybe a massage therapist, other practitioners on a team, because when it comes to nutrition, what we call clinical nutrition or clinical supplementation, I have heard many clients come into my office who may have cancer and ask their medical doctor, because of nutrient levels, because of chemotherapy, because of whatever other conditions they may have, I want some nutrients. Well, first, naturopathic doctor would focus on foods. We believe in whole foods and getting the nutrition from there. Now, there's a lot of aspects to that and why that's changed over the years here. But the other thing is that a medical doctor would make a comment to their clients and say, just get whatever multi you want off the shelf. Now, that is a bit of a challenge when you look at a naturopathic philosophy, because we went through 4 years of clinical nutrition supplementation training, because you can't just go and get any multi off the shelf. As you've just said, there are special formulations for females or males or children that have different conditions as well, like cancer, that therefore have iron and copper free supplementation. So here's where I would highly advocate for, if you are going to use any supplementation, that you have a naturopathic doctor prescribe you a professional brand, because there's also a difference between the brands you're getting off the shelf versus a professional brand you get from a naturopathic doctor who knows there's not a lot of additives in it, who knows that the values in it you're actually absorbing, who knows the form difference. A lot of tablets are being taken, and yet if you understand digestive system, you're only getting 7 to 11% that's actually on that bottle, on the label. Now, that's mostly gone down the drain or the toilet. If your digestive system is compromised, then it's less than that. Whereas naturopathic doctors would use liquid forms, powder forms, capsule forms. I mean, there's a greater understanding to then just saying to people, go and get a multi. Now, the second part of your question is, does everybody need a multi? I would say to you, no. We don't believe that everyone should be on a multi 24/7. Again, this is where we educate people on diet, the importance of the food we put into our body, like the fuel in our car.
But it just around that issue, isn't
Yeah.
one of the reasons that we may need vitamins and minerals is because the food that we're growing now is grown on in depleted soil, or soil that's only getting the nutrients that come from fertilizer. So we're not getting the full range of minerals and vitamins that we would if the food was as good as it could be in a more natural world.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because this is where we talk about more whole foods or more organic foods. There are still dietary sources that we can get that do have that level of nutrients, but you're 100% right. The general sources of fruits and vegetables that we buy definitely have a different nutrient value because they are not made naturally through the sun. They're made through artificial methods. Then the other thing, of course, if you want to get even more political about it, is that pesticide laws in Canada are known to be the best compared to the US or Mexico or wherever else we're getting our fruits and vegetables. And yet, I don't know how many people go to a grocery store and look where it's actually made, because the fruits and vegetables are still being imported into Canada from all of these other countries. So then I say to people, you have to think about these things, is which country are you buying it from? Sure, the Canadian produce may not look pretty, because we're judging it by a book by its cover. It doesn't have the pretty wax on it, but yet it is more nutritious for you. And where possible, we advocate for organics. Now, that has to be within limitations because everybody's financial state is different. Certain foods that don't have a good shell should then be bought in organic if you can. That way you can still get the nutrient values out of the diet.
Okay.
It's interesting that you speak about organic grown food, because actually that's another debate along with these whether you should take a vitamin or not, is whether or not you should really buy organic food. There's some speculation that quote unquote organic food is really no better or no different than buying regular food. It's just a price hype and kind of a marketing scam.
Absolutely.
What's your comment on that?
Well, that's where I'd say to you, everything within moderation, everything within limitation. As I mentioned, certain foods should be organic based on the exposure to the pesticides. So berries, for example, there's not a very thick skin on it. So you would want to get something that is not being sprayed directly, like berries. Whereas you can get other vegetables that have a nice thick skin on it. You're peeling bananas, for example, that you peel off, and therefore the vegetable is more, or the fruit there is more protected. So I work with my clients. We all work in Trinity Health Clinic. We work with our patients with what their limitations are.
Hey, let's talk about the flu shot.
Let's do
because
it.
Yes, it's a very
Jeanette
important part of the
we were
segment.
talking about this, and when I said that she was getting the flu shot, I got a funny look from you.
Well, it was
Okay, first let's just preference and say there are some people who should and some people who should not get a flu shot.
Really? Let's,
how and
let's-
on what basis?
Yeah, let's talk to the
so
doctor about
that's
this,
my.
Jeanette.
I want to ask you about that. Yeah.
The flu shot is it's a good question. It's a great controversy in the sense that, again, I would educate people is what are we so afraid of? Why are we getting flu shots?
Remember that big pandemic we had last year?
Yeah, I remember the huge pandemic.
That nobody got the flu, except everybody got the flu shot? What was that all about? Big PR?
Media.
Are they trying
right.
to depopulate us?
Well, I don't know about what their motives are. I just know that if we educate ourselves and again ask ourselves, what are we so afraid of? The symptoms of flu are a good sign. Naturopathic doctors look at this differently. Congestion, fever. These are good signs that your immune system are working. So why are we suppressing it? It's like the engine light on our cars. We treat our cars better than we do our bodies. An engine light comes on your car. Jeanette, do you ever smash that light? The engine light, do you smash
No,
it?
as soon as I see it, I go and take my car in for service.
To the mechanic, and what do you say to him?
I say, this light came on. I don't know what it's about. 'Cause
Beautiful.
I'm the type of woman doesn't know the guts of the car, doesn't care, just puts the key
Absolutely.
in, turns and drives. And the minute something goes wrong,
That's right.
hello, daddy. You know, something's wrong. I can take the car.
So I'm the mechanic of your body, and that's what we encourage patients to do is when your engine light comes on, like a headache or a fever or congestion issues, this is because something's working in your body. Bring your car or your body to your mechanic, which is your naturopathic doctor, to look under the hood and see what aspects are there.
But Kavita, Dr. Sharma,
Yeah,
can I
it's okay.
just jump in here for one
Please
second?
do.
I have actually a lot of friends who are medical doctors.
Great.
And the reason that they promote taking the flu shot, not in everyone's case, but in someone's case like mine, is because I have diabetes, I'm a bronchial asthmatic, and I have other issues that affect my immune system
Okay.
and really compromise it to the point where, I mean, severe bronchial infections that are borderline pneumonia. And it happens a lot to me several times in a year. A flu shot can, for someone who's in the same predicament as me or who suffers from diabetes or anything that compromises the immune system, a flu shot is advised because it can minimize our bouts with it. And you know, and that's why I think in some cases like myself, or if a case of the elderly or something like that, it may be more advised to take it. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, because you said just a minute ago that it shows that our immune system is working. In my case, it actually shows that it's not working, despite taking vitamins, eating right, exercising, and drinking aloe vera juice, or doing things to pump up my immune system.
So again, I would say there's a number of things there.
Okay.
One is prevention. That's greatly advocated by naturopathic doctors, is why wait till you get the flu? You should be preventing it by boosting your immune system through natural methods, okay? That's one. The second thing is when it comes to what you're saying about having a compromised immune system, you have to understand the flu shot only works if you actually get flu symptoms after the flu shot. Because that's the way the immune system builds its antibodies or its immune boosting functions. So if you get a flu shot and you actually don't get sick from it, your immune system hasn't actually turned on the signal to say, I'm aware of what this virus looks like. That's one. The other thing is that the flu shot is only 3 strains of a flu virus when there's hundreds of viruses during flu season. So how do you know that you're getting the right virus at that time? Some people still get sick, right? The other thing is a long-term view of the flu shot is if you don't get sick from the flu shot so that your immune system has already stimulated itself to be aware of that virus, then there's a pileup factor. It's like looking at the long-term causes of flu shots is what happens then, where does this toxic load actually build up in your body? And if you're gonna get the flu shot and you have to get sick to build your immunity, why not just get the flu? There's no guarantee you're going to get the flu this year.
But why go through all of that and have to go on multiple uses of antibiotics? Wouldn't taking the flu shot just wipe that out for me, or people in my situation prevent us from having to go through these like long bouts of sickness, weeks where you have to take multiple, like not just one batch of antibiotics, but like 2 and 3, and you're still sick for weeks on end. It takes like months to clear it out. Wouldn't the flu shot just, do that for
There's
me?
no guarantee of that. Research on, there's the Cochrane database. It's the gold star medical scientific research base that all physicians use, naturopathic doctors, medical doctors. And if you look at the research on there, you'll find pros and cons to the flu shot, but the ultimate is that they've done studies on the elderly population and children, and there is no guarantee, they cannot say with complete validity that the flu shot is actually helping them, because looking at the incident rates, you're looking at roughly the same population that had gotten the flu shots and not, whether or not they got the flu that year.
So are you saying that based on this, you would say don't take a flu shot?
I say I advocate for, what we do is educate and empower patients to make an informed decision. So whatever our patients decide to do, we support them in that way. So take it or don't. I can tell you what I would do and my family does.
go ahead.
We don't take it. But here's the thing is if clients
Wait a
want to
second.
take it,
If you don't take it, how are you getting enough mercury?
or even better, have you seen how the flu shots are made?
No.
No.
I
tell
invite
us,
people to
tell
Google.
us.
I invite people to Google how they're made, so that I'm not sitting here completely bashing a flu shot. Because again, power of choice. So here's where a naturopathic doctor would say is, if you were one of my clients tonight and you said you wanted to take it, I would educate you on it. But at the end of the day, it's still your choice to do so. And if you did take it, then I would deal with the toxic load that then builds up in your body, and therefore, on a long-term basis, actually suppresses or decreases the function of your immune system. And so you're getting these long bouts of flus over and over. And then I would want to prevent chronic disease in you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Plus-
so you would also maybe prescribe a certain like regime for me with specific, I guess, immune building supplements, like
yeah.
zinc, for example.
Well, that's one, but there are many. It's just not nutritional supplementation, it's diet as well. There's hydrotherapy, which is the therapy of water, botanicals. But immune building is the prevention part, of course, and if you're sick, we would do that in addition. But there's also alternatives that we have. Natural antivirals, natural antibiotics. The other thing is if you have a severe infection, your naturopathic doctor is going to be the first one to say, go and get antibiotics. But you brought that topic up of reusing. That's been an issue and a controversy in the
that's
public health care, is that antibiotics are constantly given. But
Even if it's
like
not
candy.
even if it's
if
a
it's
virus.
a viral infection.
Yes, it's given
And
like
that's
candy.
two-way. That's not just from medical doctors, it's also from patients who are, it's medical bullying both ways. A patient won't leave a medical doctor's office and says, no, I want a prescription, and yet medical doctors sometimes also give them out easily. But what are you doing in the long run? Everyone hears of probiotics, good bacteria now. I mean, the reason why that's, I guess, now on a commercial and media level is because naturopathic doctors have been advocating for this in a long run. Every time you use the antibiotic, it rubs out all good and bad bacteria. It doesn't do anything for you in the long run. But again,
does it come back?
the-
The flora?
not if you don't take something with it, because again, the diet has changed. We don't eat fermented foods as much as we used to. Our grandmothers aren't making homemade yogurts anymore. So that's also changed in diet over time, is that we're not getting the natural pre and probiotics through our foods.
But probiotic is also added a lot now to yogurts and other dairy items.
Sure.
Whether it's enough or whether it's again
It's
just
not
a
enough,
marketing
yeah.
scam, that's remains to be seen. Can I ask you two things about? We're talking about overusing antibiotics, and there's natural remedies that can address the symptoms of the need for an antibiotic, such as colloidal silver, which is getting harder and harder to get. That the Canadian marketplace somehow is stamped. It's being stomped out. You can't get colloidal silver the way you used to because there's some side effects with that. Things like oil of oregano, other natural, available in natural health food store items that can be taken to also cure flu-like symptoms or bronchial infections. What's your take on colloidal silver and oil of oregano as a substitute?
Those two specifically?
Yeah, or zinc or any of
Well,
it.
because there's a lot of different things you can use as alternatives. To say that people should just be getting colloidal silver or zinc right off the counter and just start taking it without any advisement, it's not something that I would educate people to do. I would educate them to find somebody who can help them with the right decision, because some people don't need zinc. These are more symptomatic approaches. These are Band-Aid approaches when you talk about just zinc to boost the immune system, is technically we look at the physical, the mental, the emotional. There's a lot of, like, for example, stress. Stress is a big factor that then suppresses the immune system. For a naturopathic doctor to have a patient come in and say, I never get sick, that's a huge red flag for us, because we're in contact with viruses and bacteria every day. Why is your immune system not turning on? Those are the people we see later in life. Like, you see a lot of this in high-powered corporations. This is why we offer corporate wellness now for a lot of companies, is because they've realized the health of their employees is the wealth of their business. But you have to take it all with a grain of salt, because using colloidal silver, for example, these are trace minerals. Anything in excess would not be good for you.
So, and what about things like, you know, candida is a hot topic.
Sure, yeah.
Cleansing, aloe vera juice. Do you recommend that on a daily basis? Using those type of things to, you know, basically cleanse on a daily basis?
I don't recommend anything on a daily basis. I have a different view in that, and just like the multi. I think we need things on and off for different periods of our life, different times of our life. If you know you're under high stress, then you take good bees and you take some of these things. But there is nothing that I believe we need all the time forever. We shouldn't be building a dependency. I believe that the body has its own innate power to heal itself if we guide it that way and if we support it that way. So some of these things, sure, if you're sick and you want to do prevention, take vitamin C's and things like that, they will work. But again, I would encourage people to look at more of the holistic picture of why they may be getting repeatedly sick or for long bouts of time.
And I guess it would be like if someone's got some health issues, they would come to you as a naturopathic doctor. You're going to spend that time. You're going to look at them as a whole person and figure out what these symptoms are in the context of everything else, and then maybe make some recommendations.
Absolutely.
Right? Do you work with different methodologies? Like, you know, we hear about things like homeopathy
Absolutely.
or Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic approaches. Do you have training in any of those?
We actually have training in
areas?
all of those. We are trained in pharmaceuticals because we need to know them, because a lot of our clients and patients do come in on pharmaceutical prescriptions. We don't prescribe them, but our methods of treatment are botanical medicine, physical medicine, homeopathic medicine, clinical nutrition, diet, lifestyle counseling, traditional Chinese medicine, and acupuncture. And then many of us go on and either specialize in some of those areas or consider ourselves eclectic, which means we keep all of those, and then go on and add energetic therapies or whatever else that we would like to add to our belt as diverse naturopathic doctors in the field.
Anything that heals, right? You can incorporate into your...
Anything that hits those levels of the person.
Yeah. Look,
Just one question, if you don't mind, because I know we're running out of time.
That's okay.
You mentioned that, you know, visiting your GP is covered by OHIP,
Absolutely.
and that OHIP doesn't recognize your visits or cover your visits.
That's right.
How much can a potential patient expect to pay in a visit to have, you know, ongoing healthcare treatment with you?
First visit or like an hourly type rate?
Well, I guess first visit and then ongoing.
Well, first visit all depends on, of course, the expertise and the level of training that you're going to. If you're going to the mainstream NDs, you're going to someone who's considered a specialist in our profession. That can range anywhere from $150 to anywhere up above $350, $400, because we have some people who are specialists in certain conditions, and it takes a while to even get in with them. Hourly rates can range anything from, say, $100, $110 to up to $150.
Okay, well, you can't put a price on your health.
No.
that's right.
Your price,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. Health is priceless.
Can you treat diabetes?
Absolutely.
There you go.
But we don't treat disease, we treat the person.
Right.
Right,
Awesome.
the symptom, the
Awesome.
cause.
I want to ask you just briefly before we go
Sure.
about because you use traditional herbal medicine. Are you, and you know, Jeanette, you mentioned, you know, colloidal silver is less available than it used to be, and I hear that there's a lot of health products, natural health products, that are disappearing from our shelves
Yes.
in this country. Do you have any comments about that? Why is that happening, and is it a good thing?
Oh, well, my favorite saying is, it's not good, it's not bad, it just is. Rather than getting underneath the anxiety behind things being taken away, we always speak of empowerment. I empower myself, I empower my colleagues to basically look at other alternatives. If things are being taken off the shelf, it's fine. A lot of that is government legislation and things that are happening because more of the public are interested in naturopathic medical services.
But
And-
also, some people are misusing it, leading to very serious ramifications, which is another reason why they're taking it
In
off.
what way? Oh,
Well,
the
for
products.
example, colloidal silver, if it's
Overusing it.
misused
Absolutely.
or not used using the wrong way, can lead to serious ramifications. That's part of the reason why these products are disappearing.
And part of why naturopathic doctors would like everything that we prescribe on a professional level to be coming through a naturopathic doctor's prescription. Just like medical doctors have their route of treatment, which are pharmaceuticals through prescription, 100%. And that's why it was hard to answer your questions, because I don't think people should be taking things off of a shelf because they saw a good commercial on it. It may not suit them.
So just before we go, we should mention your website, which is we'll let you say it.
www.trinityhealthclinic.com.
And where is that?
That is located on, it's 220 Duncan Mill Road, Suite 516, which is basically just north, it's off of Don Mills, north of Shepherd. No, excuse me, yeah, north of Shepherd and south of York Mills. It's in an office.
No, it's north of York Mills, south of Shepherd.
Is it?
Yeah, just
Okay.
north of York Mills.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's right there off of Don Mills,
Yeah,
between,
it's Don
between
Mills and
Shepherd and
York
York
Mills.
Mills.
Basically,
Perfect.
Don Mills and
Thank
York
you.
Mills. There
So
you
we
go.
should
You can just
also
give us a
mention
call.
again that you have a really good giveaway for either a caller in, or we can do it by email too. We'll give you the info in a minute. But the giveaway is for a medical consultation with you or any of your trained professional staff.
Absolutely.
Worth $75, where someone can come in and get a full assessment of what's going on from their emotional, their physical, and their whole state. So they get a really good analysis, and that's a great giveaway.
And we're going to do it by email.
We're gonna
okay?
do it by
Yeah,
email
so send
today,
us
so
an
an
email
email
to
at-
contact us at thatchannel.com, and we will connect you to Dr. Kavita Sharma.
So take her up on that offer, and thank you, Dr. Kavita, for sharing all your insights
Thank
with
you
us
for the
today.
invitation.
And we will be right back with David Cohen, host of the Small Business Big Ideas show, to talk business and celebrate Small Business Week here in Toronto this week.
That's right. We'll be right back.
Was for them to succeed. Oh, we see the day. We've had a good life so far, such a shame it has to end. But our dreams will carry on with the love of our children. It's not too late to say I love you. I guess that's
I'm ready.
Aaron, are you ready? Well, first of all, we're just doing we're doing the soundbite with Kavita, so just do a
Hello.
sound check there.
Hello? Hello?
Are you ready there, Aaron? Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Tired of spending more time in the waiting room than with your doctor? Not sure if your family's getting the best care? Well, I think it's time to make a healthy change in your life. Hello, my name is Kavita Sharma, Doctor of Naturopathic Medicine and Director of Trinity Health Clinic located in the heart of the GTA. Our licensed practitioners are trained in a variety of techniques including acupuncture, energetic therapies, and nutritional counseling, to name a few. To find out how Trinity Health Clinic can help To find out how Trinity Health Clinic can help improve your health and wellness, contact us at info@trinityhealthclinic.com or call us at 416-519-5527.
I wish I was a leader of the land. I'd make living easier for man. There'd be no more fighting and looting take over Russell, Shell, and Gulf. And I start selling gasoline myself. For less than 20 cents a liter, and oil change is free. I wish I was a leader of the land. Yeah. All the politicians would be gone. Then there'd be no threat of the bomb. No more pompous windbags to make us go to war.
Hey, welcome back to Liquid Lunch. We're here, and we got David Cohen here, and it's just such a small world because Jeanette didn't know, Dave, that I already knew you and that you've been here before, and we've had coffee and stuff like that. And,
Yeah, I have been here before, as we say in radio. It's
Yeah.
DJ Vu.
DJ Vu, and you're here all week.
I'm here
I
all week.
understand.
Try the deal. I like the liquid, by the way. It's
well,
good.
You know, David and I go back a long way. I was a guest twice on your show,
Yeah.
Small Business Big Ideas radio show, formerly at CKDO in Oshawa, now
Online, like you guys are doing, which is, I think, the future.
yes.
Well, for sure.
What station are you with?
Radio that doesn't suck.com or rtds.ca.
Oh, that's so
Q
cute.
website.
Wait a sec. Radio that doesn't
Doesn't
suck.com.
Yeah.
All right.
So-
hey, but Jeanette mentioned you're doing, is it TV on the radio?
Radio.
Okay.
I'm
Radio.
doing radio on the radio.
Okay.
Radio on the radio.
Look at this face. Do I have a face for radio? No.
For television.
For television, I mean? I have a face for radio.
But you got a great voice for radio,
There you go.
and you have always a good show, filled with great ideas for the small business entrepreneur. And you know, it's Small Business Entrepreneur Week that we're celebrating here. And I guess, you know, I mentioned earlier too that this is a show for business, coaching, and learning. And my first question to you, because today's segment's all about why Canadian small business is thriving and what others who want to be in small business can do to thrive. My first question to you, because you had a lot of experience at this, what do you feel makes for a really successful entrepreneur? What's the secret to being a successful
Wow,
entrepreneur?
that's a $64,000 question.
Do you have
I think
60 for that?
yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it now.
And, you know, I think the key is, you know, you have to have passion for what you do and a love for what you do. That's number one key to success. The other thing is get really clear that you can't do it all yourself, you know? Like, you know, start to build and plan your business so that you've got help around you and a team around you. You know, Hugh, I'm sure when you started off, I know you were doing it all yourself, and then all of a sudden you've got now a producer and an assistant and hosts and everything. So surround yourself with really good people and get some help. Parcel off the things or the aspects of your business that you hate to do. Like, I hate accounting, not my thing, right? Bookkeeper, they love it. They love the books, right? So I give it off to them. So, you know, plan your business where you don't have to be doing everything, and you can work on the things that you love to do and the things that make you money. The other thing is make sure that you've got enough money to live on for at least 6 months, and that you're financed. I'm a big believer too of bootstrapping it, which means let the business pay the way, and you don't have to buy the best website, you don't have to buy the best equipment, you can grow into things. You don't have to, you know, be behind the 8 ball and be in debt right at the beginning. So grow into your business and don't, you know, try not to finance till you're, you're just too stressed out, because you know your business is really an expression of joy and passion, and so you want to be in that
And you,
state.
it's an expression of you.
Yeah.
But,
it's an expression
okay,
of you.
Dave. It seems to me that, and I don't know if you covered all the things, but those two things seems like there's a dynamic tension between you want to surround yourself with good people because you can't do it all, and yet you don't want to finance the business either. Ideally, you want to grow it, have the business grow the business, but you know, at some point, sometimes if you don't have the money, if you don't have the capital, it's difficult to surround yourself with people sometimes because they need to get paid for the work that they're doing.
Trade your services if you can. You know, Jeanette is the PR magnet, right?
Marketing magnet.
Marketing magnet. Former PR magnet, now the
A
marketing.
little bit of both now, yeah.
You know, trade your services. You've got a TV station now, an online TV station. Hey, you know, I'll give you airtime in exchange for bookkeeping or something. You know, learn to. I think we have to learn. I think what this economy that we're in now is showing us is we have to learn to do things differently. And so, you know, trade off on some of the talents that you have and really get present to what your gifts and what you have to offer that's in abundance that you're really good at,
Yeah.
and see if you can trade services in order to
But not
get
everyone's
something.
open to trade.
True.
So I think maybe also creating a budget that will allow for some payment or some, you know, maybe a combo of the two,
Right.
trade and some payment. Because at some point, I think you have to realize that a budget is necessary.
Yeah, and you're right, and you're right too, Hugh. So what you might want to do is just start off small and hire maybe a bookkeeper at what, $18 to $25 an hour. Get some help along the way, and often too, you know what happens when you free up time and you can have maybe more time to sell or market or get business coming in. Guess what? That service now pays for itself. That free time, that gift of time that you can spend business developing is huge.
Okay, what do you think are some of like the biggest challenges small business face? And is it really the economy, or is that just kind of a myth? Because actually Canada is doing very well in its economy.
I think the economy is a little stagnant here in Canada. I really do. I think it's a little bit, you know, slow right now, although we are doing better than, you know, our U.S. counterparts. I think the biggest challenge I find, there's a few. The biggest one I think is the lack of our ability to sell and market, and our fear that goes into direct selling and building relationships. I'm really finding, you know, with the advent of online social marketing, we all want to do business at arm's length, and it's like, I think what's happening and what I'm finding is with a lot of my colleagues, we're getting tired of online social marketing. It's like Facebook fatigue, and I think we got to go back maybe a little bit and go back to the old ways of, you know, actually making a call, making a prospecting call, or booking a sales meeting, doing a presentation. I think if we can get really good at selling and marketing and communicating in person with somebody and building clients one by one by one, I think that will go a long way towards someone's success. And I think that's a big gap for a lot of small business owners, the fear of selling, and they don't know what goes into it. And there's a bad sort of, you know, image that goes with selling.
So what's your recommendation on how to overcome that fear?
Well, number one is get some coaching, and you know that's what I do, for example. But the other thing is just read. You know, become a student of sales. Sales really is about relationship building, and really at the heart of it, it's about, you know, talking to people about what their challenges and problems are, and trying to come up with a solution. That's all it is.
Which is a way better way to think, because people don't like to think of themselves as salespeople because they think they're trying to get something from people.
Yeah.
But if you view the whole sales function as, I'm here to help whoever I'm talking to, it totally changes your approach.
Totally. It's you want to position yourself as a solution provider, as an idea person, as an ally to someone's company. What's wrong with that? I mean, it behooves us to share our gifts and share our ideas with someone else, you know?
And we all have problems and we all need solutions,
Exactly.
right? I mean, you know, the only 2 or 3 things we buy because we need, one is food, one is toilet paper.
Yeah.
And
Gas for the car.
yeah, exactly. The rest of it is all basically a solution to a particular need.
Yeah. Yeah, or a problem.
And,
Well,
and toilet paper is a solution to a particular need.
You had me at toilet paper,
Yeah.
Jeanette.
Should stop there.
Well, when a business is growing, actually, this isn't really my question. Some small business people.
Whose question is it then?
Yes, whose question, Jeanette?
And it's a question for you.
Oh,
It's my
okay.
question for you. Some small business people want to stay small, and it's really about their thinking. And, you know, do you find that sort of stumping themselves?
I think if you want to stay small, you know, and, you know, that might not be, you know, in our businesses, and might not be the right clients for us. We, you know, I think, but if you want to stay small, stay small. If you want to grow and expand and see how high you can go, then go for it. I like to talk to those kind of businesses personally. I don't want to, really talk to those that are really wanting to stay small and do it maybe on a part-time basis. Yeah.
Canadian small business now accounts for a huge representation in what is generated in the general economy, more than any other segment. It's fast growing, and where do you see it going?
I think it's going to grow more. There's some real key trends to watch. One is the aging population. So the boomers are now turning 65, right? And that a notion of freedom 65 or freedom 55 that we all had is kind of changing, right? So they're called seniorpreneurs. And CIBC came out with a report that one of the largest growing sectors in the small business world are seniorpreneurs. So people that are retiring now or turning 65 or in their 50s, the boomers, are really starting to look at starting a small business. The other big thing, trend. So first of all, I don't want to retire, but I want to do something, and I want to do something with my life. So I see it growing from that segment there. The 50-somethings are thinking, they're getting downsized and right-sized, and they're getting fed up with the work world. And so I think that you'll see there is more people saying, to heck with this. I'm real tired of working. There's more, month at the end of the money in my job. I'm going to try something on my own. So you're going to see a huge growth there. And I think for youth, and there's a lot of entrepreneurial initiatives in the province and in the city for youth entrepreneurs. I think youth are going to look at starting their business as opposed to going to work for, $10 an hour at a coffee shop or something like that. So I think we'll still see a rise in self-employment. It might have to be balanced with a little bit of work to pay the bills and self-employment to do what you really want to do.
What's one of the best areas to become self-employed in?
Oh boy, that's the other 64,000 question. I think
well, we got to give some meat to the viewers.
I don't know that there is a best area. I mean, in terms of what I see in as far as growth, I think the guest you had on previous, healthcare. We are getting older. I think that's the next big growth areas in healthcare and alternative healthcare providers. As we get older, we got to manage our health, right? And maybe that's more important than buying a new car or buying a new hat or whatever it is that you want to buy. So I think healthcare is going to be huge. I think services for people that are getting older, like home care services is going to be big. And what am I seeing out there a lot? More service sector jobs and
there seems to be a coach for everything.
A coach for everything. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's almost like as you're talking about this, I'm thinking, because even the whole coaching thing, which is huge,
it's big.
It's like this is the kind of business that a lot of people who have expertise, say in management or in business, and now they are doing what you just said. They're leaving their jobs, whether voluntarily or not.
Yeah.
And this is the business that they go into. They figure, this is my biggest asset, it's my expertise. I want to start to teach other
Everyone's
people how
a
to do this.
consultant.
Well, yeah,
There's
I
a
know.
difference between coaching and consulting.
Yeah, there is.
But my real question here is that if everybody's doing this and everybody's coaching everybody else, and the jobs that are producing, like our manufacturing sector has been devastated. It's a lot of that production's gone overseas. Are we all going to be walking around trying to sell our services to other people that don't have any money?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Well, that's another growth sector, is showing people how to make more with their money. So anything cost savings, I just spoke to a woman today, interviewed a woman today from Oregon, and they're doing swaps, community swaps. So, hey, you know what? I got an abundance of screwdrivers at home. I'm going to go to the community swap, and I'll give you my screwdrivers, but I need new jackets. And look at that. Hugh brought nice clothes that I can wear, right?
I just saw an article
so
or
swapping is a bit like bartering.
I just saw a video on that. Maybe we even have it in. This is what they're doing in Argentina. Of course, they've had a big currency crisis there, and now communities all across Argentina are having these big community swaps with everybody goes there, and they don't use the official currency even. They use a special script that they create just for these swaps.
Yeah, there's no currency in swaps. It's just, I got this, you want it? Yeah, I do, and then I want that. And
So
and
it's a take on barter,
Yeah.
and it's actually, it's really not a new concept. It's been around, I mean, that's how we used to trade,
Right.
right?
I think, as Hugh was alluding to about coaches and everybody's going to become a coach. Not everybody's going to become a coach because that's not in everybody. But what I think the one thing we're guaranteed of in life these days, there's always problems. So if
problems,
if you can come up with a business that's going to solve a problem, then you should be okay for a few years, So yeah.
But it's also about what you do with your sales when you have them in those first
Right.
few years. So, I mean, divvying up, your profits and making sure you put something away for a rainy day and to put back into your business for marketing, not just spending it all.
No, you don't want to spend it all. You do want to have a financial plan. You want to have a plan for insurance. You want to have a plan in the event you get sick and your business can't run anymore. So you want to really go into your business with all eyes open. And what I say is plan for the worst, but play for the best, right?
And how important is it to have a business plan?
Oh, totally. You need it. Like, that's the life. Without knowing where you're going to go or where you want to go, how are you going to get there? If I told you to, go to Timbuktu or go to Saskatchewan, and you don't know how to get there exactly, you're going to get lost, right?
And it's going to take you a little longer to get
Exactly. Now, you don't need a full 50-page, opus for a business plan. There are these new concepts called the one-page business plan, which I really like. And really, what you're also doing in the one-page business plan is you're tracking what am I going to do in the next 6 months to get to where I want to go. So it's like almost like your master to-do list kind of thing, or your action
Yeah,
plan.
and it's got a little accountability there.
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of it too. I call it a marketing plan. It's part of a business plan, but still, I mean, and yet so many clients I see or people I meet who are in small business at various events do not have a plan.
I know, it's scary.
And also do not have a target focus or any kind of niche, and try and basically up business from
Yeah,
wherever they
I
can.
know, fly by the seat of their
and they can't survive that way. They don't understand why they can't survive. This is like a key mistake, and I'd like to sort of bring this up to what, in your experience, because you've been at this game a long time, like myself. What are the common mistakes or sort of the things that really kind of put people out of business faster than they should be?
Well, number one, they're financing. Number two, not having a plan. And you're right, I spoke at a networking event. It was a board of trade up north of the city a little bit. I won't name cities. And then I went in and I spoke. I said, okay, how many of you at the board of trade have a business plan? Less than half. That's scary. So have a plan. Know where you want to go. Yeah, I think the key is you have to get clear, clear on who you are and what value you bring and what solutions you bring to the table. That's number one. Number two, get clear, as you said, on who's your market, who's your ideal client, who's the niche, where do you really want to play, who do you want to talk to, and really focus in on the niche. And then, so get clear as to what the value is, make sure you have a plan, make sure you know your customer inside and out, keep doing research, and just continue to market and try different things to market, and be consistent too with your messaging.
Yeah, that's a big problem, is not being consistent with your messaging, not being consistent with their brand, and not understanding why that leads to problems.
Yeah, because people don't want to guess. Like, you know what McDonald's is, right? No matter
exactly.
where you are.
And you know what you're going to get there, that you know what the expectation is, right?
Yeah.
And that communicating that is very important. That's something, I'm a big proponent of. I do a lot of work in, is making sure that you communicate a solid message and that it's consistent. But you mentioned about marketing, and I think that sometimes marketing is a bit of a trial and error, and it can be minimalized, that trial and error and some of the costs associated with it, by really sticking to maybe 3 or 4 key marketing areas.
Definitely.
In your opinion, what are like 2 or 3 must-dos to market yourself?
Well, number one, and you're really good at it, Jeanette,
Thank you,
is
David.
networking. And you're like a master networker as far as I'm concerned. So that's
I
number.
just like people. You
Yeah,
know?
well,
I'm a people person.
Yeah, and it's fun. You know, you go, you meet somebody.
You schmooze, you
yeah,
cruise.
Yeah, it's true. And I think another thing is be friends with the phone and be okay with making your prospecting calls. I have found like most businesses I've been in, and I've been in other businesses besides what I do now. You know, I built my way by making calls and reaching out and trying to get appointments. And yeah, sometimes, you know, I don't get that meeting right away. But it could take a year or two to get there, but I'll get there eventually. And
You got to think of it as a process, a sales funnel. You know, you got to load it up at the front end to have it spit out something at the other end, right?
Yeah, yeah, and you know, if you call somebody, first of all, don't call looking for a sale. Call looking for a meeting, so you get to know that person.
I think personally that the oldies but goodies work in marketing.
Yeah.
It really doesn't have to be complicated. It should be simplified to a few key strategies and kind of getting those down before you go and add what I call the spice. You know, like you were saying, so many people just, you know, think social media is it. You get friends on Facebook, you get followers on Twitter, and you have a business and you close sales. And
You
it
don't.
actually does not work that way at all.
Not
It's
at all.
only
No.
good for building your visibility.
Yeah.
You know, so I really think that before you, and maybe you agree with this or maybe you don't agree with it, but before you get into these sort of advanced add-on marketing campaigns, I think the basics still work. Email marketing, which is also very cost effective, getting out, networking, meeting with people, picking up the phone, the oldies but goodies, the personal touch.
Direct mail. I love Canada Post is going to love us. And direct mail works. I love sending like little tchotchkes and gifts out to people and
Or
calling
cards,
them
like
up.
send out
or
cards.
a card, yeah, send out cards. Something that's personal that people get, and they love it because what it does too, it breaks up their day and it cuts through the clutter. I mean, we're exposed to 3,000 commercial messages a day, so you got to cut through the clutter. Getting something
And
personalized
that doesn't
to
include
you.
the stuff that's
I
going
know,
on in
I
your
know.
head.
50,000 thoughts. I'm a Scorpio. Half of those are about sex. So, you know, I'm doomed, right?
Oh yeah, your birthday's coming up.
Yeah. Thanks.
What sign are you, Jeanette?
Leo.
Fire and water mixed wouldn't work.
Okay. Well, you know what? One thing that I'm learning here that makes
sign are
sense to
you?
me. What?
What sign are you?
Yeah, what are you?
I'm a Virgo.
Oh,
Oh,
September,
just like
right?
my dad.
Well,
October.
Dad! Oh yeah, we missed your birthday.
Late August.
Oh, late August.
Oh.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Virgos are sexy, eh?
Yeah,
Are they?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
usually very critical and nitpicky.
Oh, we're very critical, but we're always right.
Yeah.
But, you know,
So are Scorpios, so I have to tell you. Leos might have a bone to pick. Too.
Oh, of course they do. Well,
I
'cause
have
it-
no bones to pick.
'cause
See,
they got
that's
all-
another thing. I think in business it's kind of like things happen and you just have to keep going and you can't get too caught up with yourself
Yeah.
or take things too seriously or hold grudges because it just doesn't benefit you.
It's not going to get you anywhere, and you know you gotta. I think it's really important too to have a bit of balance, you know. So
Balance
when you
is
do
key.
have those moments of frustration, you know, like I remember in the summer I was going through like, oh man, 3 weeks nothing was happening, right? And I went to my gym, and I had my workout, but I have boxing gloves, and I just took a few rounds at the big, you know, the what are they, punching bag. Man, did that feel good, you know? It really did. So I think balance is really critical.
It is. It really is. And a lot of people struggle to maintain balance.
yeah.
I want to ask one really good question before we kind of
Well, the others were like not good.
No,
Like-
but this is really
This-
about you.
Oh, okay.
What made you want to take on a show dedicated to small business?
That's a good question. I love radio first of all, and I think Hugh, you know that in our chats, and I just love radio. I've always had a passion for radio. I actually took radio television journalism and didn't even want to look at TV. I wanted radio, and way back when I got into the sales end of things in radio and then in marketing and so on and so forth. Anyway, fast forward, it was sort of like, you know, the 2000s, and I'm all of a sudden I'm listening to this show out west online called Success Talk Radio, and I went, oh, man, that's really cool. I like what this guy's doing. His name's Alan Unken. He's a friend of mine on Facebook, actually. Then I'd listen to this guy on CFRA in Ottawa over the internet, and his name was James Madouk, and he had this small business heroes show, and I went, I really like that. So I, fortunately or unfortunately, lost a job, and I went to a vision workshop one weekend, and I went, I'm going to do it. I'm gonna start my own radio show. And I pitched stations, and CKDO in Durham said yes in 2002, and I went to town, you know, and started the Small Business Big Ideas show. I just love the notion of doing a talk show that's smart, that's intelligent, and helps other people. And I love the entrepreneurial spirit.
Well, see, and that's great because, and now you like it's a real entrepreneurial venture,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so it's like, whereas you might have thought of it, that kind of thing in the past, not as an entrepreneurial venture. It's almost like everything now that you can think. The universe is opened up to everybody to do absolutely anything they want.
Yeah.
But they got to think of it smartly. They got to, like an entrepreneur, and they have to. And getting back to the thing that I am getting from this conversation here, is that we really have to all step it up a notch.
Yeah.
We have to become more professional. We have to become better at what we do. And
Yeah.
if that means hiring people that are going to do a better job at one aspect of the business than we can do, then we got to do that. And
Yeah.
if that means getting a coach, then we got to do that.
And,
And
we
if
need
it
more
mean-
community too. We gotta
Yes.
get off our butts, get out of the TV, and go and make things happen. This is time of change, and it's up to us to make that
But
change.
actually, you can also embrace technology as we have to create a community, and that's what you've done too. You've created a community, a hub for small businesses where you provide tools and resources. I'm kind of doing the same thing with a different twist for women's needs
Yeah.
and their women in business needs. But we're both creating communities, we're both communicating specific tools, specific needs, specific resources, and we are problem solvers. And in doing that, we're niching ourselves. And I think that really, you know, that combined with your passion is what makes you lead and succeed.
Thanks. Yeah, I love it. I mean, I did my radio show today. I recorded it today for broadcast next week. I love it. You must love what you do every day. It's like, I never got tired of it.
I absolutely love what I do, and I love being part of everything that I do,
Yeah.
including being with
Aw,
you.
I like being with you too. But yeah, the teaching or coaching, I love it all. It's an honor to do the work we do.
So, and seeing as you brought up your coaching, we announced this earlier. We will re-announce it now because we kind of are running out of
we
time.
have that gift.
We have your giveaway, which is 2 separate 1-hour business coaching sessions with David, valued at $125 each. And instead of doing call-in today, we're actually doing email-in. So again, that'll go to the first 2 emails that we receive,
Cool.
and you'll get that. So contact us at
ThatChannel.com.
and don't forget to, because anybody who's looking to start a business or has a business can really benefit from this.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I specialize in sales and marketing, you know, how to
Right.
go get clients.
And that's the, for sure, every small business needs that, right? It's,
yeah.
you got to get that revenue in the door. So
Yeah,
that's
I know,
awesome.
money. It's
Right.
not going to
Yeah.
come from your uncle.
Less talk, more sales.
Well,
Yeah.
it may, but
I know.
can't count on it. So we're both doing that. We're both, we approach it from different ways, but that's basically, what we're
Okay.
all about.
So,
Okay, so we
David?
want to thank David.
yeah, of course we do.
Well, I
And,
want to thank you too. Do I get a gift? Do I get to keep the mug or something?
well, we should, maybe we could find one we can give to you,
I'm
Dave.
kidding. A parting gift?
What we'd have to do is put your picture on one,
It's
and then we
Cana-
can give it to you.
It's Canadian TV. Get a case of high C.
Yeah, or Castrol GTX motor oil.
Yes,
right?
that'll keep you going.
Okay, so, but David, before you go, before
Yeah.
we say bye, I just want to make sure people know where they can see your radio show again. You mentioned radiothatdoesn'tsuck.com.
Yeah,
Is
radio
that it?
or rtds.ca or radiothatdoesn'tsuck.com. Yeah.
rtds.ca. And do you have a website for yourself and
I
everything
do.
else
I
you
do. You can go onto my blog, which is technicolorumbrella.com. technicolorumbrella.com.
Are we going to?
Yeah, I think we got it.
We do have it, maybe. Well, they're going to pull
And
it
your
They'll
other
do it.
site's
And
small.
my website is smallbusinessbigideas.com. I have a podcast link as well, white paper reports. You can sign up for my newsletter. You can tune into my podcast and hear all the shows we do each week.
Well, is it Technicolor?
Umbrella.com.
Dot. Okay.
That's just my blog.
Is that it there?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Little article on having a vision, which is also really important.
Awesome. Great.
And then smallbusinessbigideas.com will get you to know more about what I do, and it'll also allow you to access our podcast.
Okay. Great. All right.
Cool.
Dave.
There I am on TV.
There you are on
turning my
TV,
head.
but we've looked at your
Hope you
website.
cut that
It's
out.
awesome.
And we want
And,
to mention that we will be back with a new liquid lunch and brand new magnetic marketing moment for November, in November 21st. That's the third Monday of the month
Okay.
of November, with a special show lining up guests already for that.
Okay.
And you'll be back tomorrow
Yes, I will.
with Liquid Lunch.
Right here on ThatChannel.com. Thanks. Thank you, Jeanette, for doing this.
Thank you, Hugh, and
And-
thank you to the audience for tuning in with us today.
And great to see you again, Dave.
Thanks.
All
Hugh.
the best. We'll talk
You
to you
too,
soon.
You too.
Okay. So that's it. We'll see you tomorrow at noon. We've got that video, by the way, from Argentina. I don't know about Argentina, but about this whole barter thing, this whole
cool.
need for people to get together.
Cool.
So we'll leave people with that. We'll see you tomorrow at noon, right here on ThatChannel.com.
Class suburb of Buenos Aires, hundreds of people newly impoverished by the nation's economic crisis gather several times a week at this disused factory to take part in their own self-help solution to the disaster. This is a barter market, one of thousands which have sprung up throughout Argentina to fill some of the gaps left by the collapse of mainstream business. Here, trading is carried out using coupons called créditos, which can only be used inside the club. The country's national currency, the peso, plays no part in here at all. The network of barter markets has become a parallel economy.
Hoy hay, a 6 años de la fundación del primer club, el
Barter
Bernal,
Club coordinator Ruben
1.400
Ravera
de
says,
estos mercados
today, 6 years
que se
after the
ligan
first
a
club
través
was
de una
founded,
red
there are
poderosa
1,400 of these
con
markets linked
más
through a
de
powerful
150.000
network with more than
personas
150,000 members,
lo que nos da
which
un
gives us a
número
total
total
number of
de,
people who you could say
digamos,
are
gente
affected by this type
afectada
of
por este
exchange
tipo de
outside the formal
intercambio
economy of
fuera de
something
la
over
economía
500,000.
de algo más de medio millón de personas.
It's not only homemade clothing and other such goods that are traded in the barter clubs. People exchange food they've produced themselves and even services such as hairdressing, doctors, dentists and psychiatrists. Barter clubs don't pay any tax, but they're tolerated and even encouraged by the government because they act as a safety valve for the volcano of social discontent that's boiling up because of mass unemployment.
Hi, this is David Cohen with smallbusinessbigideas.com. And if you're looking to grow your business or you're having a challenge, a business challenge you need to overcome or brainstorm on, then that's what I do. I help you grow your business, get new clients, overcome business challenges, and help you on your way so your business runs smoothly, beautifully, and it's an expression of joy and an expression of your truest passion. So if you need a good business coach, I would love to work with you. You can reach me at www.smallbusinessbigideas.com or email me at thecoach@smallbusinessbigideas.com.